the question, we often get the question only a game of why we have relatively so much emphasis on soccer. Karen thinks that's funny. And the reason is simple. I'll illustrate it by telling a very short story about a visit I made to a practice that the New England Revolution was having some years ago. Practice was up at Brandeis University. Shortly after the practice, they were set to go to the airport, get on a plane, fly to the West Coast to play the Los Angeles Galaxy. And I had arranged with a public relations guy to come up to the practice. I needed to talk to a couple of players, and when I got up there, he said, "Who do you want to talk to?" And I said, Beto Naveda, who was one of their Latino players, and a guy named Paul Keegan, who was an Irishman who also played for the Revolution at that time. And he said, "Well, I'll do the best I can, but we're in a terrible hurry after practice today. We got to get on the bus and get out of here." And I said, "That's all right. You know, whatever you can do, I'd appreciate." So the practice ended, and Beto Naveda happened to be standing right next to me on the side of the field. And he came over, and I got my recording equipment out, and we talked for a while. And he was terrific, as I knew he would be, and told me some good stories. But by the time he was finished, everybody else had gone into the locker room. The field was empty, and I thought, well, all right, 1 out of 2, not too bad. I packed up the recording equipment and slung it over my shoulder and started for the parking lot to go back to the studio. And I was halfway back to the parking lot when suddenly I heard behind me this clacketa, 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 clacketa on the macadam, path. And I turned around, and here comes this guy in his shorts, no shirt, still in his spikes. And it's Paul Keegan. And he comes up and he's running after me as I'm going to the parking lot. He says, "Bill, they told me you wanted to talk to me." Well, this rarely happens at Fenway Park. The Celtics, the Bruins, the Red Sox, the Patriots, they don't run after the writers. But with the Revolution, that's the way it was. I thought, how can we not put soccer on the program all the time? These guys are great.